The world of Drakengard, while it appears to be set in a fantasy realm, is actually a post-apocalyptic Earth that diverged from real-world history in the year 856 AD. This divergence from real history occurred when a mysterious city appeared from an explosion of light in the Iberian Peninsula, bringing magic and monsters into the world. This event came to be known as the Cataclysm. Dragons that flew out from the city caused chaos across the world, and after a time a ruined Europe was reformed into what becomes known as Midgard. In this video I'm going to be discussing the suspected origin of this city and the implications it has on the series as a whole. The city that appeared in the Iberian Peninsula appears to be from a different century, as it is full of skyscrapers, road signs and billboards. Contrasting with this modern architecture is a strange cathedral located in the center of the city. This cathedral is filled with books from which humans learn how to use magic, and it is because of this building that the city comes to be known as Cathedral City. The Cathedral City appears to have been transported to the Iberian Peninsula from another world, referred to in the third game only as the Old World. The dragons came along with the city, and it is likely the flower and the angels which the intoners summon also come from the same place. The android Accord says that she also came from this old world, and she seems to have a direct connection to the city, as she is shown as a holographic projection on the Mercurius Gate, which is hidden underground, and houses an entity connected to the flower. Accord and the dragons are also shown to be able to speak the language of the old world, and the art book shows that Accord was originally going to have a dragon companion, who seemed to be her assistant. In the NieR 10th anniversary live stream, Yoko Taro mentioned that Accord was originally created in the NieR world, specifically that she was created in the Kingdom of Night, around the same time as a type of weapon known as dragon. This was expanded on in NieR Reincarnation, where it's revealed that these so-called dragon weapons were created by androids in the year 6230 from the DNA of an experimental clone soldier who had cells from the red dragon within her body, and who was herself capable of transforming into a dragon. Knowing all of this, the most likely explanation is that Cathedral City came to the world of Drakengard from the NieR world's Kingdom of Night, and that the dragons and dragon weapons are one and the same. This would mean the appearance of the city is part of a loop, as Angelus would be setting into motion the events that caused her own creation by traveling to Tokyo in Ending E, a bootstrap paradox. While it's very unlikely that this loop was planned out when the first game was made, there are some things in the game which make sense with this theory. The scripture that Furii is reading in the opening cutscene contains an illustration of Angelus chained to Tokyo Tower, and the art book mentions that this scripture contains the secrets of the universe. As well as this, the final cutscene of the game is called Recursion, an interesting word choice. In the Drakengard 3 prequel novella, The Gone Away, Michael describes what his life was like in the old world, where he fought in a war alongside Angelus and Legna. He describes fighting two types of enemies. The first of these he calls Mushi, which can be translated as insect or worm. He describes them as burning easily. The second enemy he refers to as Kugutsu, which can be translated as puppet or marionette. They are described as being a bit smarter and using projectile weapons. These puppets are most likely androids, as the word Ningyo, which can also mean puppet or doll, is used throughout the series as a way of referring to androids. The Mushi that Michael describes fighting would either be the aliens or machine life forms, likely the latter, as the Automata anime included secret messages from Accord that suggest the Cataclysm is somehow connected to 2B and 9S, which would mean the Cataclysm occurs long after the aliens' extinction. In that case, insect would be a fitting translation, as the majority of machine life forms outside of Japan seem to be multi-legged Goliath types. Interestingly, as the novella describes the dragons fighting both these enemies, this would seem to imply that the dragons rebelled against the androids. This would explain their violent attack on humanity when arriving in Midgard. The question remains as to what actually caused the Cataclysm in the first place. One possibility is that it was a multi-dimensional bomb, similar to the one that was used to kill Red Eye in Jerusalem, as the bomb creates a bright flash while transporting everything it hits to Midgard. Another possibility is that it was caused by a singularity, In NieR Replicant, the admins describe the singularity Kaine as causing multiple branches to merge, and this results in a large explosion of light from which the admins can hear a song. Likewise, in Reincarnation, Theo touches the admin as she attempts to shift to another branch, causing another explosion of light that collapses the birdcage. With these two examples to go on, it's possible that the city was shifted to Midgard by a similar explosion, just on a much larger scale. As to how this singularity explosion could have occurred, we know that 2B and 9S are suspected to be involved, and it's likely that the entity locked behind the Mercurius Gate could be involved as well. Based on messages from Accord, it's possible that the mysterious Group B was also present during the Cataclysm. Information on this Group B is very scarce, having only been mentioned in Sinnoh Alice and the hidden anime messages. All we know about them is that they were present during the Cataclysm, and that Accord was fighting against them. Accord herself doesn't know where Group B comes from, and they seem to have the ability to assimilate Accord units. In NieR Reincarnation, it's confirmed that a loop of some kind does exist, as the admin is shown trapped in a repeating cycle where the world resets no matter what branch he observes. While this isn't confirmed to be related to the Cataclysm, the point where he loops back seems to occur after the events of Reincarnation. That would line up with when the Cataclysm occurs, presuming that it didn't occur in the brief window between the events of Automata and Reincarnation. Accord's goal is to prevent something she calls the Falldown, an event that leads to the destruction of all timelines. She is worried about Zero potentially causing a Falldown scenario due to her influence as a powerful singularity, and she seals away any branches where she believes a Falldown might occur. The art book for the third game hints that the Falldown might have some connection to the Cataclysm, and this is reinforced by Accord referring to the Cataclysm as the worst day. No, perhaps it was the end of the world. She says that everything started with the Cataclysm, and an encoded message in World Guide 2 reads as follows: "The source of the curse is the day of great calamity." With this in mind, it's possible that the end point of the loop the admin is experiencing is in fact the Falldown, and that the Cataclysm that sent a city from the Kingdom of Night to Midgard is connected to this, perhaps being either the trigger for the Falldown or the Falldown itself. Whatever the answer, I expect that if it is explored in a future game, it will be the last. The title NieR is, after all, a curse.